There's my Howie.
Nice to see you.
He gets a kiss.
Ah. Hey, bud. Nice to see you.
too.
We work in the same co-working space.
I know. He just pulled his tricks on me.
Ooh. So did he pick you up in his 95 Corolla? Or?
He was trying to. He kind of came at me like this.
Ah. He's a tough one.
He said it was about the eye contact and the smiling. It kind of worked.
That's good. You feeling it?
I might be feeling the butterflies a little bit. Oh wait, that's just mine. Sorry. Yeah. In my backpack.
Awesome.
I was being asked about a pen. See, now he's following up.
Exactly. So there you go. Good follow-up. It's key. It's key for everything. It's all about being social. We're here to be social. How
We're
are
here
you
at
doing?
BlogWorld to be social. This has been the funniest BlogWorld afternoon. I mean, I had a freestyle rapper on here.
I will not be freestyle rapping.
Oh, come on, Howie.
No way. You will not see me freestyle. No.
Had a freestyle rapper. I had this young entrepreneur who started his first company at 14.
That's awesome.
I
should write that guy up.
I had Jen, the Jen ATX.
Yes.
With, tech karaoke with the
hair, yes.
purpley pink hair. She's starting another company now, Pink Sheets, and so that's in private beta right now. So she's testing that out with everybody.
That's exciting. I didn't get the pitch on that, but I think she's going to be a good entrepreneur. She's got a great community to come behind her, and that's like a great place to come from.
Well, bingo, and that's one thing she talked about is, she's, for instance, with Tech Karaoke, huge community, and to be able to call that community. So we search for people very easily. So we have ways of searching for influencers through Twitter and whatnot, but when we use certain keywords, there really isn't a way to, really effectively track those keywords. Like they can be trending for a day or so.
And they go away and we kind of lose track of them. Yeah.
So with Pink Sheets, you actually can track keywords.
That makes a lot of sense.
Trending keywords.
It's a hole in the market.
He's wearing those
Vibram 5 fingers.
I love those Vibram 5-finger shoes.
Gonna stick his foot in the shot again. All right.
I want to get a pair of those so bad because I get like blisters on my toes. It's gross, and those look so comfy.
I think you have to go.
Now he's even like smiling at me with the feet. He's like, see that? See that?
Yeah. I'm not going to pimp my shoes. Those are a client that I'm not working with anymore. So.
Oh, I remember. Anyway.
Story.
So, what are you up to, Howard? We're in your city.
So yesterday I was excited to be on a panel here. Okay. We did a discussion about education and social media. We had the head of distance education for NYU, as well as professor of journalism from Hofstra. We all talked about how it's challenging to teach social media when the material is always changing. Yeah. Facebook put out new analytics stuff a week and a half ago, right? Yeah. And if you're doing a lecture on analytics, you have to incorporate that because your students potentially could go and try to use it the next day, right? So how do you get up to speed on stuff, and how do you stay up to speed and change your material while still keeping the sort of the core of the strategy that you're teaching people and the semester intact? Yeah. And it's a challenge, and everybody has different ways of doing it. So we all learned a lot, and we had several faculty members from other universities in the audience that we were able to kind of bounce off. So that was nice. It was a nice, intimate discussion.
So what are some of the solutions? That I never really thought about that. Like, just technology in general is constantly changing. So unless a professor is like completely geeked out on their own anyway and can just naturally stay on top of it, is that the answer?
You have to be. You have to be Google Reader and sharing your stories with your students, or maybe having a common list, or you have a tweet stream that your students are monitoring. Okay. And at NYU I have a software called BlogWorld, which is the community software for the sharing for students, and it's secure because obviously there's student privacy rules. But I post articles up there every week, and they're expected to check it every week to see what the current articles are. And some of my syllabus will say current articles, see the BlogWorld, and so it's up to me to put up a bunch of stuff the week before. So I'm constantly, when I'm teaching a master's level course, I'm like, Sunday is my day to prep for the next week, and the articles go up for the following week, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah. But a good point though in terms of using the actual tools themselves as part of the class.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, students have to tweet, my students have to blog. They're allowed to use whatever they want. They want to use WordPress, great. Tumblr, fine. Posterous, whatever. I mean, it's technology agnostic. It's more of the concept of I want you to write every week. I want you to become used to writing. I want you to be commenting on the other students' posts and tweets and interacting and using the media. Because if you're not using the media, then it's really tough to say, oh, I don't like Twitter, it doesn't have any value. Well, if you haven't used it for 7 weeks, then it's really tough for you to judge. And the other thing, that especially for the marketing students to learn is just because you don't like something doesn't mean that your audience doesn't. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be looking at the way that the people who use your products might communicate and kind of bring that down. If they're all using Tumblr blogs, maybe your company should be putting up a Tumblr blog. Yeah. Even if you don't like Tumblr, and a lot of people love it, and it's great, it's a great service, you should know about it enough that if your audience could be using it. And so that's another lesson that young marketers often have to learn.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you definitely have to learn by doing. Like, there are certain industries where you just have to do that. Just reading a book is not going to do it for you. You have to actually use it.
I'm trying to remember who said yesterday. Oh yeah, Gary Vee yesterday in his keynote said, it's no good to just read about push-ups. You have to do them, right?
Where does he come up with these lines?
I think
this
in
is
the
why
middle of
Gary
the night
Vee
after a couple of glasses of Merlot and like a Jets game, he just
That's the secret. That is the secret. He sips on his amazing wine, watches a game, and stuff just comes to him. But the one-liners that this guy comes out with, that's why Gary Vee is so popular and we love him so much, because
I think it's only part of the reason.
Only part of the reason. We also love his wine, but
yes.
I mean, the guy just comes up with ways of explaining things that just make you go, that makes so much sense.
Right. Storytelling. Actually, that's another thing. I saw a really nice presentation yesterday by Mike Margolis, who does Get Storied on Twitter, and he talked about how you tell the story of yourself in your About Me page and about your bio, and sort of he wrote the article last week that was kind of popular, that was kind of like people were yelling about, called The Resume is Dead, it's all about your bio, right? And he wrote that piece, and he's very big into being able to explain your own story. And all of us in social media, we're all trying to get out there and communicate with each other, but there's a backstory. There's you've been doing this for X number of years and you work on this show and you have several other shows that you work on, and that's part of your story. I helped start Social Media Club and I run it in New York, and I, been on Twitter. Yes, and I've been on Twitter since, November of 2006. I was one of the first 1,500 people on LinkedIn. So when people say, well, how long have you been using this stuff? I said, well, since it came out.
Since it started.
Since it came out. And that's, I had a Facebook account early because I had an EDU account from being on a university. So.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
University professor, didn't want to be creepy, but just sort of wanted to check it out. Yeah. And so, part of the deal is being in there early, and part of the deal in there is using this stuff. And I think that's important.
So, speaking of using things early, you knew I was going to go there. What are you playing with right now? What are the new stuff that you're toying with?
Just installed Uber. Now, I know you San Francisco guys have had it, but New Yorkers, we only got it a couple of weeks ago, and that's the car service. You put it on your Android or your iPhone, or you can actually text to it. And if you need a car service to show up someplace where there's no cabs, like I was over at TechCrunch before, and there are no cars, there are no taxis there. It's like on the West Side Highway, so you can actually, click on the thing, it'll see where you are, and it'll tell you the nearest driver is X number of minutes from you. Click it, and they will send you a driver. They'll show up, they can send you a text message when the driver shows up, and then you get in there, and then at the end, they charge your credit card, the tip's included, and you just walk out of the car. It's kind of nice.
I love services like that people come up with. Just very simple utilities are my favorite. If it's a utility that's just one specific thing that's really addressing an annoying need for me.
And they're hacking the travel problem. In New York, sometimes, especially like on a rainy day or whatever, it's impossible to find a cab. At like 4:05 in the afternoon in Midtown, it's impossible to find a cab. But if there are car services that join this service and make themselves available, and you can just say, I need one, that's going to be awesome. And so obviously it's for a certain economic level of people, but it solves a problem. And I like things that solve a problem and are simple and packaged up like that.
Okay, what else?
No pressure.
Neener.
Another thing, and I hate to say because we're at BlogWorld, that I saw this at TechCrunch, but they were giving out Square readers. They were giving out the Square credit card readers. Like
people are loving them.
Handed them out in a fishbowl. I was like, really? Wow. And the credit card percentage is a little higher than if you had like a VeriSign account or your own thing, but it's like really convenient if you just want to charge for something. I had a client who asked me, can I pay you by credit card the other day? And I was like, yeah, you can kind of do it via PayPal, but it was kind of annoying, and so we didn't. And we ended up, dealing with it another way. But you know, it's nice to be able to have that in your backpack, plug it into your phone, and just beep.
Yeah.
And those guys are going to make a lot of money with that. There's going to be a lot of money with that.
Oh, I can get one? I can't catch really well.
Thank you
Yay!
for appreciate it. This
Look,
is the Square credit
This
card
is the
reader.
Square credit card, and now I have one. That was
Very
just
nice.
perfect
That's
timing.
really good. Thank you very much.
See, TechZulu truly is interactive television.
And real time. You know,
In real
totally
time.
Real time,
I
absolutely.
think you couldn't have timed that one better.
No, that's pretty awesome.
Props to you.
And then, you know, sort of looking around here, you know, I was talking to somebody who's doing in the speaker lounge before. He's doing EdgeRank statistics. I think EdgeRank. I forget the site, and I really apologize. But EdgeRank is the secret thing that Facebook really doesn't like to talk about, but they're doing, which is they try to figure out how popular you are and like how much interaction you have. So like I may interact with you on Facebook, and then I'll see you more in my Facebook stream. There is that button and that meme that goes around that says if you click this button you'll get more diverse people, but it's kind of crap, right? If I interact with you a lot on Facebook, I'm going to see you a lot on my Facebook wall, and I'm going to see like my brother less, which is, you know, a challenge for me right now.
Yeah.
But one of the things that these guys are doing is they're trying to calculate for brands how often people interact with you and what's the likelihood that you'll show up on someone's Facebook wall, and some other statistics related to that Facebook tech. And for brands, that's really important to understand, are people interacting with you? Are people seeing you on their walls? Are they clicking like, and are their friends then seeing you on their walls?
Right.
And that kind of stats become invaluable when you really want to try to measure your impact.
I've really wanted to see more of that too. I would love to be able to visually see the path that takes.
Well, Facebook hasn't been that forthcoming with brands about helping us understand statistically, you know, what's happening. There's a lot of good stuff, and actually Christopher Penn had a great panel yesterday on using those Facebook insights and combining them with things like Google Analytics and you know, apps and stuff like that to really track how people come to your site, how people come to your fan page, how many people interact on your own site that come back to your fan page, and what's the traffic back and forth, and then also things like how Facebook ads convert for you and help go into your sales funnel. So that was actually probably one of the more useful panels I've seen here. There've been a lot of good panels, but that was like really good information, and just, you know, and they're not my client and I get nothing from them, but Blue Sky Factory has this presentation that Chris did on their Facebook page.
Chris
right
Brogan.
now. No, Chris Penn.
Oh, Chris Penn.
Christopher Penn. They have the presentation that he did yesterday on their Facebook wall today, so you can grab the slideshow and see what Christopher was talking about. So, you know, props to him and props to them for showing, you know, kind of how they market, which is good.
So Blue Sky Factory, if you go to their Facebook page, you can grab.
Get that presentation. It was a really good presentation. That's pretty much it. I'm tapped.
No, that was great. Gave me some good stuff, Howard.
I'm always pleased to be here with you and Ephraim and the gang at TechZulu. It's great to be here.
We adore Howard. We stayed at the Social Media Clubhouse in Austin with Howard 2 years ago. So had a grand old time, but I can't talk about that on camera.
So secrecy. It's NDA. It's all NDA.
All friendier.
Yes, exactly. Take care.
Yes, we'll catch up with you later.
See you soon.
All right. Bye, Howard.